Welcome to part 2 of the Isabella bird extravaganza. Now then, we're going to just examine a little bit of Isabella's motivations here and tell you a little bit about Isabella. And Isabella was this, she had a tumour on her spine. I'm not quite sure what that meant, but a tumour on her spine when she was a child, and they had some sort of surgical procedure on that, and this sort of made her something of one of those wilt-in Victorian invalids. And in her 20s, lounging around, the doctor, who probably suspected that it was all a bit psychosomatic, suggested that she should have a nice sea voyage and get fresh air and so on. Anyway, her father was persuaded to spend a bit of money on sending her off on her travels, and she went off to America. I think it was see relatives and such like. Anyway, she wrote letters back to her sister, and her sister thought they were interesting and edited them and put them in book form, and this it didn't sell particularly, but it did sort of set, I suppose it gave her, suddenly she could see a way forward in her life. Anyway, she returned back to the UK and lounged around a bit more until her father got sick of this woman. I think she was pushing 40 by then, and unmarried. And so he decided to pack her off again, and then she goes off to America. And she had wild time and out in the Wild West, and met a rather wild character, one-eyed, gun-slinging, whiskey-drinking, hairy-chested desperado who she seemed to have had quite a thing for, and that infused her book with a certain amount of sensualism, let us say, but all in very prim and proper, British, upstanding, tight-knickered way. So this book did very well, and it set her off on a career of travel writing and such like. So after we meet her in 1879, when she's visiting the native states of Malaya. If you don't know who they are, then just check the map in the blog that's written. And follow this whole series, and you'll find out more about those places than you ever really wanted to know. So she on her way back from Japan, she was in Hong Kong, and the governor there whispered into her ear, said, "Well, I think you should just check out the native states." And the native states had been taken over by the British in the previous 5 years or so, and they were not necessarily free from their troubles, and the British didn't really want to be in there. The Colonial Office really was not keen about getting involved in any of these. Members of the House of Parliament were very lacking in enthusiasm, and Gladstone certainly had no enthusiasm for the whole thing. And so the the governor in Hong Kong was suggesting that perhaps she should go there and write a sort of an independent report, if you like. And that's exactly what she did. She goes off there and she meets all the key players in the region. She meets all the residents and writes up about them and who they are and what they've been up to and so on. And so naturally they were on their best behaviour when they met her. And she examines their attitudes. In fact, perhaps when we look at her attitude, we will be somewhat horrified now and again, but within the period, she was relatively liberal-minded, if rather full of the Christian virtues of the period. Well, anyway, read on, see what the next 20-odd blogs are going to be about, and you will learn more about these places than you ever thought you could know. And the next stop is Melaka. That's where her journey begins, and Malacca is a very important town in the history of Malaysia. And well, let's see. I'll see you then. So like, subscribe and share and ring the notification bell. Do all that sort of stuff so that you will know when the next one appears. So please go to lawrencegray.net/travel/blog and just follow this blog. That's in lieu of the documentary that we really wanted to make. But, oh, well, you know, the plague. Never mind. Anyway, like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. See you next time.